We have a follow-up to a shocking story of a wheelchair-bound woman with MS left locked inside an Atlanta clinic for hours.
It happened at the Hanger Clinic on Peachtree Park Drive in Buckhead last Thursday. The woman says she was forced to roll off of the examination table and crawl across the floor to an outlet to try and charge her phone to call for help, spending hours on that floor alone. Since then, we have been pressing for answers, and we're investigating why it took several calls to 911 before help finally arrived.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live outside Hanger Clinic in Buckhead. So, Cody, this story, as you know, has sparked a lot of reaction out there.
Of course, Ron and Jennifer, anyone who has watched the interview or read the story, including myself, asking, how in the world do you close a clinic up for the night and not check every single exam room before you lock the doors? But that's what happened here behind me, and it's been 3 days, and the Hanger Clinic has yet to give me an explanation.
I would want someone to answer to, why this happened.
Ankita Mackin was supposed to have a ride home after her appointment at Hanger Clinic on August 21st. Her daughter, Aquadia, says the clinic has all her transportation details.
She has to leave on a stretcher, which is why she cannot ride in a vehicle.
It appears her ride was never called.
I said, did you let them know to call transportation? She was like, yes. In her mind, she was assuming that, someone was on the way and that, they did their part. In calling.
The company who handled Mackin's trip to Hanger Clinic sent me this statement. Verida is a broker, not a transportation provider. A different company performed the transport, and there is no record of anyone communicating with us after the appointment ended. It sounds like Miss Mackin was in a tough situation, and we're happy to hear she's okay.
I tried to call her. No answer. It was going straight to voicemail. So I'm like,
She says this was around 5 o'clock, roughly 3 hours after her mom texted her saying she made it to the appointment.
I'm calling her again. I'm like, no answer. So then I'm starting to panic. I'm starting to get worried.
Little did she know, her mom had to roll off this table, crawl across the floor to find an outlet to charge her phone.
She ended up calling me. But like I said, this was about 7.
These screenshots shared with me show multiple 911 calls were placed, including from Ankita herself from the floor of the clinic.
I kept calling 911. Oh, someone went on. No one still ain't came. Called again. No one still didn't come.
She says after the third time,
911 talked to me the whole time until the fire people came.
Records show that call lasted about 40 minutes. Now, first responders eventually showed up here behind me after 9 o'clock last Thursday night. Now, I have continued to ask the Hanger Clinic for an explanation, and they continue to respond that because of HIPAA privacy laws, they cannot give us an explanation. So again, we're going to keep pursuing them for an answer. Now, as far as those 911 calls, Ron and Jennifer, I did reach out to Atlanta Police today to find out why it took several phone calls to the dispatch center from 7 until 8 to get a first responder out here. And as soon as we hear back, we'll definitely have an update on this story. Live in Buckhead, Cody Alcorn, 11 Alive News.
All right, Cody, thanks for fighting for those answers, sir. Thank you.